There is a lot of information folks will probably want to know about Starfield leading up to the launch of the game. Details about the story, the lore, the factions, character customization, gameplay features such as space combat, weapon customization, outpost building, and the companion system. And today, we're talking about almost none of it. How is it going, everybody? My name is DeMarco, and if you happen to be looking for that type of information, then there's some phenomenal content that's already out there, such as the Starfield Direct. Really just that. If you're looking for any information on Starfield to be prepared for the launch of the game, check out the Starfield Direct, play it on the background while you're at work, while you're traveling, whatever the case might be, and you will be completely prepared for the launch of the game. You don't need videos telling you everything that we know unless you're super interested in the title and you just really are craving every drop, every morsel, every molecule.
I've got to have every molecule
of info that you possibly can grab. If you are interested, I do have a 4-hour breakdown. I did a live stream after the event. If you haven't checked it out, you can do so to really dive deep into that information. But today, I wanted to take a bit of a more practical approach, if I may, into how you should prepare for the launch of Starfield. Think of it as a bit of a checklist of sorts, but also trying to set some level of expectations about the game as we near the September 1st early access date if you pre-ordered the premium edition of the game. Before we get in too deep, I do want to cover at least some of the basics of Starfield to get everybody on the same playing field. Let's go. Starfield is Bethesda's first new IP in over 25 years. It's taking place in the year 2330 in a distant area of space known as the Settled Systems. You, the player character, quickly become a member of a group called Constellation. They're the last group of space explorers in the Settled Systems. Why is a reason that we'll have to discover for ourselves. You are tasked with finding some mysterious artifacts. They're a possible key to discovering the truth behind other life out there in the universe. By fate or circumstance, you also happen to be linked in some way or to connect with these artifacts on possibly a telekinetic level.
That means you saw it. The visions?
It's also possible that these artifacts may give you some type of psychic abilities, but that's mostly left for us to discover when we get our hands on the game. With that, you are left to explore the universe, the people in it, and discover the world of adventures that are waiting to be had to build the story you want to tell. Factions like the mysterious Red Mile, the Space Western Freestar Collective, the militaristic United Colonies, or the corporate Ryusian Industries may or may not play a role during your particular journey. And with a promise to return to more hardcore RPG mechanics coming from Bethesda Game Studios, you will be able to roleplay the character you want to play as, to leave your own mark on the Settled System based on the choices that you make. As far as what you need to know in order to prepare for your journey into the Settled Systems, that's about it. If somehow you've managed to evade all of the other details about the game, then bravo to you, first of all, but try to keep it that way. Let the mystery surround your experience as you journey into Starfield for the very first time. But it doesn't matter how expansive the universe is or how great the gameplay feels if you don't enjoy the game for you. It doesn't matter what myself or any other content creators might think about Starfield. What matters are your own thoughts. And if you enjoy and love Starfield, then more power to you. There's no need to pay attention to the people who might be mindlessly bashing the game because that's where they get their enjoyment. We've seen a lot of negativity surrounding Starfield. People trying to attribute Fallout 76 and its launch to how Starfield will perform is one of the bigger examples. Lately, the game's marketing has been the main target, but there are plenty of others that I'm sure you've seen online. I always do my best to remain positive about games and gaming. It's a medium I find so much is worth celebrating, and whether you're into the AAA space, the indie game space, or both, there's so much offered for anybody that if there's something you don't enjoy or that doesn't suit your fancy, it's more logical to me to simply move on. There are, however, extremes to be aware of. Do stay positive, enjoy the game for yourself, ignore the folks mindlessly bashing Starfield, but don't follow blind optimism to a point where you lock yourself away from any criticism of the game. Accept criticism, as long as it's fair, I encourage you even to offer some of your own. Not everything about the game has to be perfect in order for you to still love it, and there's nothing wrong with having an opinion about how a feature can be done better. One of our greatest assets as collectively as humans is our ability to critically think, and even if you're watching a review of Starfield, whether it's mine or somebody else's, and they're showing gameplay in the background while discussing a particular point at the game, feel free to disagree with what they're saying based on what you're seeing. The other extreme of that is if you go into Starfield trying to find every single conceivable problem with the game, you probably will, and you're not going to have a good time. And keep in mind, you're probably not going to ruin Starfield for anybody else besides yourself. So, just my 2 cents on the matter. There's a balance between overly positive and overly negative. We all just got to try to meet in the middle. Bugs and Bethesda games, they go hand in hand. It's a meme, but a true one, and I would not expect Starfield to be too much different, unfortunately. We do have comments from Matt Booty where they've mentioned that Starfield will have the least amount of bugs of any Bethesda game, and this was if Starfield were released about a month ago, mind you, and that's reassuring, but the truth of these claims remains to be seen. I would not be surprised if this comment becomes one of the first memes about Starfield's launch, or if it's used mockingly in reviews if Starfield does release buggy. But the second major thing players should really know about Starfield is to expect bugs to some degree. No game is impervious to them, and despite almost the past year of Starfield's development seemingly going to solely polish for the experience, when you have as many systems and mechanics interacting with one another, these sorts of things, unfortunately, are a bit inevitable.
I am inevitable.
For me personally, I draw the line at bugs that do not allow me to do the things I need to do. Bugs that break my game or break quests, ruin my save files, especially in an RPG that can last hundreds and hundreds of hours. Nothing is worse than losing all of the progress you make because of a bug that's outside your control. I'll even accept some broken dialogue here and there, a glitchy texture going on in the background, or an NPC that's freaking out with their physics, because that's just what happens in these types of games. But as soon as you start messing with my ability to progress through the story or to actually enjoy it the way it's meant to be experienced, then we start having some problems. If you are playing Starfield on day one with the early access, you need to expect some of the same, more or less. If you're waiting for reviews, do expect bug compilations to appear that make the extent of these issues that the game has appear far worse than they actually are. The fact is that many of these instances are probably just experienced by a handful of players out of possible hundreds of thousands. And all of this shouldn't be confused with me defending bugs or defending a buggy release. Nothing will kill my personal excitement for the game faster than if I try to turn it on and a couple hours in I can't play it anymore because there's simply too many issues. But I do want to set expectations for those that think Starfield might either launch completely bug-free or with basically virtually no bugs at all. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to be the case. I did want to go over the installation requirements, especially for PC players. They are available directly on the Steam store page if you want to take a look for yourself, but you will need a minimum, a Ryzen 5 2600X or an Intel Core i7 6800K paired with a Radeon RX 5700 or a 1070 Ti. But the recommended specs are asking for a Ryzen 5 3600X or an i5 10600K paired with either a 6800 XT or an RTX 2080. So you do need some modern hardware to get the recommended specs out of Starfield. This is all in conjunction with a 125 gigabyte Steam download size and 16 gigabytes of RAM, as well as a required or recommended SSD for both the minimum and the recommended specs. Now, as many of you might also know, there is a partnership between Starfield and AMD, so this likely means that unfortunately for NVIDIA users, we probably won't be getting DLSS with Starfield, which is unfortunate because generally speaking, that is the superior system to use over Fidelity FX or FSR2. Just something I think is worth keeping in mind if you are planning to play Starfield on PC. Lastly, and this is perhaps one of the best pieces of advice I can give for any game, not just Starfield, but that's to play your way. It sounds corny, I know, but the best thing about a Bethesda Game Studios world is allowing yourself to get lost in it as much as you possibly can. Experiment, try different things, make your own builds, join your own factions. Don't let other players tell you the right way to play or the best parts of the game to play or the best builds for the game unless you specifically play to have the most powerful character possible. But otherwise, give yourself the opportunity to truly get lost in this universe. You don't need build guides, walkthroughs, shipbuilding tutorials, or quest guides that tell you the consequences of your actions before you take them or the rewards that you might get. This is all meant for you, the player, to discover for yourself. Allow yourself the freedom to unleash as much creativity as you possibly can. Bethesda titles are more and more becoming these sandbox open worlds that are waiting for you to get out there and explore it. And it might be another 25 years before we see another new IP from Bethesda Game Studios. For some, it's scary to say this, but a title like Starfield might genuinely be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Let your creativity wander, dream, think outside the box, embrace the overall theme of Starfield, which is discovery, things that we lose a sense of, unfortunately, as we get older a lot of the time. If you're unsure about how a feature works, test ideas, try new things, experiment, solve problems on your own. You get the idea. There's no right or wrong way to play a Bethesda game, and if you feel like you're doing something wrong, you're probably not. There's no best quest lines, there's no best faction, there's no best companions to bring along for the adventure. That's all for you to decide. Don't let guides, walkthroughs, and other videos of that nature tell you otherwise. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say here is experience Starfield through your own lens and not through anybody else's. And an extra free tidbit for anybody out there who's really excited and wants to avoid any type of spoiler possible, there are plugins and extensions you could find online for Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, such as Element Hider, I think is a good one, where you type in keywords and things like Twitter, it'll completely block, or you could set it just to blur them if you don't want them hidden completely, so that way you can't see anything with the keywords you choose, such as Starfield, Bethesda Game Studios, things of that nature. If you're looking for a super highly detailed, in-depth analysis of the Starfield Direct, again, I'll leave it linked down in the description below. If you're new here, consider subscribing. This has been an exciting journey, and I can't wait to continue to launch with all of you. Thank you so very much for being a part of all of this. It's really, really exciting, and I'm so appreciative to have every single one of you here. So thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I hope to see you all next time. So long, everybody.